Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. This is where we answer all of your questions about puppyhood. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Sparky from the Puppy Academy.
If you have a puppy question you need help with, join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram or TikTok at the Puppy Academy.
This is where we tackle your toughest training challenges and guide new puppy parents on how to make puppyhood easy.
If you're ready for more in-depth puppy help right now, check out our online school at thepuppyacademy.com to have us personally guide you through every step of puppyhood and in raising a happy, well-mannered pup.
We're excited you're here, and now let's get to the show.
Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
Episode 150. It's a big day for us.
It is a big day, and I'm Bethany. This is Sparky, and this is, who is this?
Blue. That's Blue.
Hi, sweetie.
Wow, Blue's pumped. See, Blue likes me more.
He is excited.
It's a she. And guys, just remember, you can always submit questions through our YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We got a platform pretty much everywhere where you can submit questions. You can also throw them in the chat. And if we're answering your question, you happen to be live with us, please give a response. If we see it, we'll answer back to it. Because we just love the dynamic of going back and forth, that conversation. Yeah. It just feels more real. We like that.
It totally does.
I'm going to give you the long ones.
Of course. All right.
I'll take the shorties.
Savvy says, my 5-month-old Maltipoo does great in the house, but does not listen to commands like stay and come when he's outside. Okay, so I'll take running.
I'm sorry, I was petting Blue. I didn't even hear the first part of it.
See, we try to like throw it back and forth to each other, and he dropped the ball. So I'm going to go ahead and carry it and take it down the field. All right, so
I didn't drop the ball. I'm holding her right
now. Don't put any pressure on her back legs, though. Okay. And your phone is trapped underneath you. There we go. All right. So this is so normal for a 5-month-old. And I'm curious how you're reinforcing your commands. Because unless you have a really high food drive and just a lot of natural focus, that's a little bit of that is genetic, like working dog genetic, there better be a leash on your puppy all the time when you're asking for these things. Otherwise, there's no way for you to reinforce it. And the more you keep asking and trying to corral your puppy, trying to get them to listen, the more you're losing points really, really quickly. So for me, if I've been working on come in the backyard on a long leash with my 5-month-old, and it's been going pretty well, and then I don't have a leash on her one morning, and we do potties, and then I say, puppy, come. I'm gonna try one time, and I've got my treat pouch on me, and she looks at me, looks around, and I'm like, good, come on, and I get nothing, then I am not gonna ask again. I might try to move backwards and be like, puppy, and like run backwards. If that, okay, I think
Blue's had it. I think Blue lasts about 3 minutes.
And I just don't want her struggling with her back end. Here go. Here. You're gonna pick her up very carefully.
She's kind of heavy.
She's like lopsided heavy, the bulldog lopsided. But anyway, fur too. Anyway, I'm not going to ask again. I'm going to go and get my puppy. And I'm not mad about it. It's not the puppy's fault at that stage. I'm not mad. Well, actually, I'm not mad ever when a dog doesn't come and go and grab them because it puts a bad connotation around it.
Negative association probably creates more fear and makes them come less in the end.
It creates, or more conflict. It depends on the personality, but it can create fear. I'm just going to go get my puppy. And with stay, you definitely can't reinforce stay without a leash. And so I'm wondering if, how much leash work you're doing. And what are your expectations as far as the work you've put in? And what I mean by that is to put it a little bit on you. If you're doing 5-10 minute sessions a couple times in the house, how often are you doing that outside of the house versus just expecting, her to listen? And so let's just make sure that we're doing controlled training sessions outside with a place cot, working on food and to work on that stay and that long leash for come and working with a cot for place for stay. That's the best way I would start doing it outside. And make sure you're doing backyard, middle of the day if you can, where it's low key neighbors and things like that. Yeah, you have anything to add?
No, that was good. I like to build up basics inside, build to the maximum distance I can get, cut back down to the basics outside, and then build up again outside. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what you just said though, right?
Yeah.
I had a feeling. Good job, Sparky.
Good job. You clarified what I said. It's why we're a team.
I'm sure I really did.
All
right, we have Madison C. Amos. Just submitted a pic of the question about 6-month-old Yorkie. Okay. I don't know what that meant. I'm skipping
look, there's an arrow right there.
Oh, Kimberly gave me an arrow.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Kimberly. 6-month-old Yorkie whining in his crate after months of being perfect in there. He whines basically all night long, but stops when he hears us talking. When crate during the day, he whines for about 10 minutes or less, and then settles. At night, he whines majority of the night. We have been noticing he's losing his baby teeth, so he's certainly teething. Could this be the cause of this odd shift in crate behavior, or is it something more? I'm so worried.
A combination of teething, behavioral, all of those things, they start to become an adolescent.
Oh, she's on.
Oh,
okay,
there we go.
Cool.
They start to become an adolescent, and so a lot of that stuff, she says, thanks, Kimberly, I'm here. A lot of that stuff is normal, but we still have to work on it the way we would work on anything else. For me, it would be about making sure they don't need to potty. Because if you take them out to potty and then they just learn to whine to potty, you don't want that. But you do want to make sure that that's not the need. So if she's not having any accidents and it's truly just for attention, are you accidentally waking her up? Do one of you snore? Do one of you move around and shift in your bed? Before, she might not have cared, but now that she's getting more hormones and she's developing differently, it could change. You could consider putting her out of your room.
That was my suggestion too. I know people that will walk up in the middle of the night, not say a word. They'll kind of tiptoe up to the crate and just do like a little tap on top of the crate. Not say no, not say a word. The whole point is that you're not awake. It's just like coming from the ether. And then the dog will scatter in there, look confused because the crate has to be covered, by the way. All four sides. They can't see you walking up.
Make sure you're covering,
You can't be a part of this as far as they're concerned.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll just reset. If they're a softer dog, I think that would probably work pretty well for you. If they're a more pushy dog, then what she said.
And sometimes this stuff has more to do with what's happening outside of crate than in crate. Mm-hmm. And so let's just kind of have a bit of a checklist. A lot of times around the 6, 7, 8 month mark, owners relax a lot of their rules. The dog is getting more out time because they're getting older, things like that. They're getting on the couch more, maybe. So I've got like a follow-up. She says, no, that's not her. No accidents, crate covered, whining before even getting into it. Okay, so what I would do is let's just make sure we've got this checklist going. Dog waits in crate for permission to come out. So that dog never leaves crate, like can look at the door open completely, then be invited out.
This isn't at night, this is every day.
All the time.
Anytime.
This is all the time, yeah. And then your bedroom door, if your bedroom door opens, like if you open it to go out, does your puppy wait at the bedroom door to go in or out? Like doesn't rush in the bedroom, doesn't rush out of the bedroom. Back door. You can open your sliding back door or whatever the case is, leash or no leash, I don't care. You can open it up and your puppy, 6-month-old, should absolutely just be waiting for permission to go out the door. Let's make sure we're not giving any affection or couch time, which is hard with a small dog. That's why I mention it. Any affection or couch time 15 to 20 minutes before going in crate and after coming out of crate. So we want the dog to have this kind of mellow sandwich around crate time and where they're not getting any hierarchy up on the couch as well.
Dogs are all about association. So if you associate affection before going in the crate, they're going to sit in that crate wondering why they just got something and it was taken away cold turkey.
Yep.
But what are you going to do instead of the 10 to 15 minutes of cuddle time before they go in the crate? If you're even doing that, for the people who are, I would do place. And if you haven't taught place, teach place. We have our online school where we have a full course where we teach everything place, she's pretty much just mentioned from in the entirety of it. Yeah. But also, I mean, there's some YouTube videos if you just want to learn it really quick. And what you're doing with that, though, is you're teaching them to go on place by command, and then eventually you can do a back tie on place later on when they understand the concept of it. Yeah. You put them on place, you tie a leash to some piece of furniture behind them, or even like a kettlebell or a weight, and you clip that to their harness, and then they can exist around that dog bed at a distance from you. So for 10-15 minutes before you go to bed, they're actually calming and settling at a distance from you. They're still in your line of sight, they just don't have access to you.
Yeah.
Confidence, independence, and eventually the ability to self-soothe is what they're going to start learning from.
Yes, with the back tie. Once you've taught place and place duration.
You have to teach place, though, first.
And just a couple challenges for all of you out there, but especially a 6-month-old Yorkie. We just got to follow up. We do let him lay with us until it's time to shut the TV off and go to bed. Yeah, so why would he want to go to crate? So we will work on place. We'll work on place before bed. He's got thresholds down perfectly. Oh, great. Nice job. So I would sandwich it. Like my dog, a 6-month-old, needs to do 30 minutes to an hour in place, then permission to be on the couch, and then back. So I don't know if you caught the beginning of my comment, but I went over that.
It's maturity, Madison.
Yeah.
You hit a new stage of adolescence.
Yeah. And it could be the teething too. But anyway, you're going to sandwich the place. So for 30 minutes to an hour of place, then permission to come on the couch and hang out. And then I would actually do a 5 to 10 minute calm, slow training session of just place or crate. Let's go. Crate, down, let's go. Crate, down, let's go. Tiny circle or place, one or the other. Just do 5 to 10 minutes of that to kind of bring him back down after being on the couch before you just put him in place. Because he's not going to tolerate that most likely. And then you do place time before bed. And so I would sandwich it. The dog needs to earn couch time at that age. The couch should not just be whatever, whenever. And then you can't do couch right before bed because it's creating too much of that association of closeness, and the dog doesn't understand why they're just being pottied and put in crate. And then the other thing I would say, just to challenge you a little bit, since you're doing thresholds, is can you, it was for all of you that are having any impulse control issues, which is probably most of you because you're on here, can you prep your dog's food, put it in the bowl, and walk over to them all without them invading your space? Now, if you need to teach them place and stay to do this, okay. Or you can just use body language to teach them how to stay out of the kitchen area or wherever their food is being prepped and put into the bowl. They're not at your feet. They are either able to do a stay in place away from you at 6 months old, or you can use body language to just create that invisible boundary of just sending them away and they just have to wait at a distance. Either of those approaches are okay, but a 6-month-old should absolutely be able to do that. And then the other thing is, let's make sure crate is also fun. You're doing it calmly, like I mentioned, but then also can you do place in the living room and then go, puppy, come, crate into the bedroom. And they run in crate and lay down. Go back into the living room. Puppy, come, place. Because at 6 months old, they have the ability to do it. So just to put a little pressure on you guys out there to up your level of impulse control and work when you're working with your puppy. Okay, cool. I'm glad you're on here, Madison. Thank you. I've got one on here. Where did it go? Okay, this is a good one. Nikki says, 6-month-old Goldendoodle tries to pull and lead even with a slip leash, even if I correct. Will this ever get better? Very frustrating. Okay, here we go. All right, 6-month-old. So I've got some age. I've got the ability to hold my dog accountable to some degree, but you might be starting way too late. Maybe I'll leave the walk for him and I get to do the juicy transitional stuff, which is my favorite. When you grab the leash, what does your dog do, Nikki? Because your dog they can be happy, but excited even as a 6-month-old, but they need to go to place and sit or lay down, and I put the leash on, and then I pause. Maybe I drop the leash. Then I go to pick up the leash, and they get excited, so they get up. No, body block. Calm down. I will not take that energy out on a walk with me. Because if I take that energy out on a walk with me, then I've already lost. Of course, corrections
You're setting a bad tone.
Yeah. So I am just energy, calm, confidence, authoritative control. Calm this dog down at all of your transitional moments before you even get out the door. And I have a tweak for you at a 6-month-old. I have a tweak for you. We teach puppies sit before they go outside. Nikki, once you get the leash on and you can pick up the leash, drop it. Pick up the leash, drop it. Then, great, I'm jumping the gun here. So I've got one more transitional moment. I get so excited about transitions. So then, because they're so boring, but I love them. Okay, so then you finally pick up the leash and the dog is like, this sucks, and it stays in a down. And then you're going to say, let's go. And your puppy's gonna woohoo and jump off of place. calmly turn, back on place, sit or lay down. You may not even be able to get it down because it might be creating anxiety. Just place and sit is fine. Let's go. Turn, little turn. You're not walking your whole living room. Little turn, place. Little turn, place until they're like, okay, well, I guess we're not going for a walk. So they walk off of place. Now I go to my front door. Stop saying sit. Can you just open your front door and your dog just wait with you or look up at you? Either is acceptable. Because if that's not the case, too much excitement. Because what's happening is you might be asking for a sit and then opening the door, and the dog is so excited in a sit, the sit actually becomes kind of suppressive, and they're only listening because of the obedience command you taught. So you need to transition into more of a behavioral brain approach and just walk up, have a close, short but not tight hold on the leash, open the door, and when the puppy leans forward, you're going to twist your hips in front of the puppy, make them get back. No. Pause. Do a little circle, walk up to the door, open it again. Do not go out that door until you can open it and the dog just looks at you and is like, I don't know what's happening. I'm not allowed to go out the door anymore. When you get that look on your dog's face, then you ask for a sit. Or they offer you a sit because they default into training after you've made it clear of that boundary. Okay, that's my piece. Do you want to actually talk about the walk? I love that stuff because if the transitions aren't in check, the walk is never going to work for these more challenging, happy-go-lucky doodles.
Right. And I'll start by saying, if you do everything I'm about to tell you, it will not work if you don't do what she said first. Because she's tackling the brain to make the body ready to actually learn and accept the knowledge.
To be in learning mode. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so what am I going to do with my dog when I'm getting really troubling walk outside? Well, I'm going to look back to my walk inside and around my house first. Can I do let's go up and down my hallway? If you don't know what that is, that basically means move when I move, stop when I stop. So if I'm walking in a straight line and my dog goes a few steps ahead, can I step back, say let's go, kind of move a little to the side, and my dog feels some pressure and checks in with me? They get a good and they come back for food. If I can't, then that's the first thing I'm going to work on inside the house, in my living room, or my favorite spot in the house, up and down the hallway. Yeah. Because there's no conflict up and down the hallway. There's two directions, forward or back, and it's much easier for me to control that space.
Or if you have a front walkway, those are the most challenging.
Well, that's what I work up to. That's
like the most challenging.
Backyard first, then driveway, walkway along the side of your house, then walkway in your front yard to your sidewalk, and then the sidewalk actually in front of your house. These are all the things I'm building up to. And now
because if you don't, the dog is building everything up in their brain. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Perfect.
That sounded better in my head than when I said it out loud.
I was curious where you're going with that. Is that what I sound like?
No, that's what you said, and then I was making a comparison. Okay,
we'll talk after.
Go ahead.
So now I've got a great let's go work, but now I need to teach my heel as well. Or if you want to start doing the walks right in front of your house on that sidewalk, you could do let's go out there as well. I honestly do that until I can get a pretty solid consistency, even with the occasional dog walking by the front of the house, and maybe I walk up the walkway a few steps. Yeah. They pass, I do a little bit of training to work them down a level, and then I get back out there. Then I start teaching heel. Heel is very intricate. I'm not going to try to even explain it, except for the fact that you're basically luring them to your side with food in place of just pulling the leash back instead, until the point to where I can lure my dog away from a distraction. So I see a dog 120 feet away and I'm on my driveway, my dog looks at them, I can say puppy heel, show them the food, turn away, and they follow my food without hyper focusing on the dog. Now I'm ready for that distance. That means my dog can give me focus. I might try that on a walk in front of my house. If they can't, build more distance. They're not ready for it.
Yeah, you got to have distance from distractions. Mm-hmm. Bubble out, 180, walk away. Yep. Like you've got to work on your focus first.
Yeah. I don't even want to tell you what to do on the walk outside your house because I have a big feeling that everything I mentioned by your house and in your house probably isn't there yet if you're losing that much focus on the walk. So do this for me. Try that for a week, maybe even 2, and then check in with us and let us know how it goes, and then we'll give you the next part for the walk outside.
Because there is a next part, and I really, really want to go over it, but we're trying to
minimize the amount of advice we give so people don't jump the gun ahead of time.
And then we're also trying to get to more questions. So, Nikki, there is more to this, so if you check back, we'll give you the next stages. Okay. Clarice says, is taking my 5-month-old Goldendoodle to daycare a good idea? Would it get all the energy out? Yes, it will get all the energy out. You'll have an exhausted dog, and then you will just build your puppy's endurance to handle more and more excitement, and then they will see every dog on a walk like it's a playmate, and you will have you won't matter on the walk anymore. So it's all about balance. We usually suggest 2 to 3 times a week for puppies that are doing good on the walk. But if you see a regression stage during adolescence, barking at other dogs, pulling really hard on the walk, you're gonna have to pull back a little bit on daycare for like a month or so, really get that walk in tight, teach your puppy existence and to focus on you, then add in 1 to 2 days of daycare again.
I have a client that I just recently finished training, and when I did my consultation with them in their orientation, I asked him, I said, what do you do right now to get the dog's energy out? He goes, oh, I run him every morning. And I've noticed that the endurance is building up. I was like, okay, sounds great. And I checked in with him a month later, right before we started the program. He had started his run at about a 1/4 mile with this dog, and it was about 9-10 months old. So it was old enough to do a jog. And by the time I checked in a month later, by the way, this guy is very fit, he was doing about 12 miles every single morning to burn out the rest of the dog's energy. He started at a 1/4 mile, and within 1 month, he was up to 10 miles. It was the only thing that tired out the dog physically. So that's endurance of what you're looking at a few months down the line of doing daycare. Now your dog skips daycare one day, and you're curious why he's a bat out of hell doing backflips all over your house. It's because he needs that daycare, physically needs it to burst out that energy.
You got to work on mental.
We don't recommend that. We recommend the mental, which
if
she
that
just
happens,
said.
you got to focus on the mental work on your days off. Yeah,
it's fine to have an athlete if you got a farm dog. If you guys live on a farm and your Australian Shepherd is doing 30 miles a day running around herding sheep, that's a working animal. But we don't need that in the city.
And we get plenty of people who hike for 2 hours every morning and take their dogs. Like, they're very consistent athletic people. You have to take that into account.
But those people who hike also balance it out with some training after. So that's not the dog's only version of energy release.
Jen John says, is it okay for a dog to bring their toys and bones to place, or should place be free from distractions?
I think should have both. Okay, go. Sorry.
No, I agree.
Okay. All right, good.
Because I think it depends on your situation. This advice depends on you and your dog. If you have no issues or like very little issues with your dog's able to be in your home, you just got a good dog all the way around, like a good response time to no and commands, and isn't having any serious impulse control issues, you can have toys out and your dog can just pick it up and take it to place, or you can say place and give your dog some. Totally fine. If we have issues, then that's a whole other conversation, and you can write back in.
I want to play devil's advocate.
No, I'm playing devil's advocate. Can't we just
devil's advocate.
We're supposed to just answer the questions.
No. Devil's advocate.
We have these conversations before.
So I have to give you a situation where I would not be okay with that, by the way, because I am for both. I think dogs can have bones and they shouldn't. I think that your dog should, one, when they're more advanced, learn how to exist on place and be bored and be okay with being bored. That's an important factor of a dog, is that's how they start settling in the living room. That's how they start settling around the family. One of the situations where I will give a bone is I have a puppy who does struggle to stay for even 5-10 minutes. I'll give them a bone to help them learn how to settle and comfort themselves and calm themselves, because chewing is very calming and comforting to dogs. But then when I notice that they start tossing the bone off of place, which they are very smart and they will do that, and then they get up to go retrieve it and come back to place.
Getting excited by it.
And then they're going to do it one time where they get off place, grab the bone, and they walk away from place. That's when they start gaming the system, working you guys, and that I'm not okay with. That's when I start giving a time frame of how long they have the bone, and then I'll take the bone, and they still have to do a certain portion of time on place after I take it away.
My border collie, instead of getting off place, like you said, he was older when we adopted him, so with a puppy he might have done this, but he would nudge the toy off of place and learn that. Learn that I would get up and grab the bone, because we wouldn't use toys, we used bones, and I would give it back to him.
He liked that, didn't he?
He liked that, so he'd bump it off again and stare at me.
He said, "Bethany, come."
And I would
Bethany, fetch.
I would be like, "Oh, you're so good, you're staying in place," and I'd give it back to him. And then I noticed he would literally look at me and nudge it, which makes sense because he does that with the ball when we play fetch. That's how he gives it to me. He kicks it over with his nose. And so I finally put 2 and 2 together, like in the first 6 months of owning him, and I was like, "You stinker. It's because we train slowly. Okay. Can
She
I
was
move on?
giving her obedience commands.
Yes. Can I move on?
Yes, please.
Finna says, my 14-week-old female Great Swiss Mountain Dog, when it's just me at home, she tries biting me, my clothes. She jumps on me and won't listen. How do I deal with this? Please help.
Leash.
Well, Finna, I want to preface this by saying our online school, your dog is at the perfect age for it. If anybody's wondering, 14-week-old. Your dog's at the perfect age for our online school, and you can go to thepuppyacademy.com and check that out. And the reason this comment made me think of the online school, other than, puppy training, is because we just did a crazy, thorough puppy biting workshop. And that workshop is available on our online school now. And so it's like a 2-tier thing. It's very intensive. And I'm going to help you, of course, but I just want to preface that by saying that puppy biting can be...
You're going to be looking for follow-up questions.
Yeah,
And in our Wednesday live at 4 p.m., it's a full hour. People can ask follow-ups in that live.
And just to be clear, for anyone like, oh, they're just plugging the online school again.
Yeah, we're also plugging. We're supposed to, but...
The thing that jumped out... Yeah, we're supposed to.
None of our job, guys. That's what we do.
The hierarchies, they make us... Okay, so just to be clear, there's something in this comment that really stood out to me, is when it's just me home alone, she's biting me, my clothes, jumps on me, won't listen a lot. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but there's a few red flags here. And Swiss Mountain Dogs are very powerful, stubborn breed. And the fact that when certain people leave, because we've dealt with this before, when like one person leaves the home, like a specific person that tends to have more maybe command energy-wise over the house, and then another person is kind of taken advantage of. And we've seen this go south through adolescence, not a 6-year-old dog that like has an issue with someone in the house. No. These things go south quickly during adolescence. And so that's why I really wanted to do the plug. Okay, but let's go ahead and help you. So he started out by saying leash right away. That puppy, there's 2 things. That's 4 things. There's 2 things. Shut up. I'm having a day. I really could use some coffee. There's 2 things that can really help you. One is a leash is on your puppy every time they're out of crate. I don't mean you invite your puppy out of crate and put a leash on them. That will be a disaster. I mean your puppy has learned to stay in crate, which you can do in 10 seconds, and waits for permission to come out. And then you put the leash on them while they're in crate and they're still waiting at 14 weeks old. Then you invite them out of crate. So your leash is on the puppy anytime they're out of crate, supervised, of course. And then you have a food pouch on you 24/7. That's super, super important. And I think I'm going to stop there and let you take over from there.
You got a food pouch on. Your dog knows how to wait and settle calmly coming out of the crate. And now my dog is coming out of the crate, but I'm going to layer on one more part to that because I think you're about to say it as well. And now my dog is able to come out of crate on leash, and we have leverage. Leverage is control. It makes your puppy understand that you can control the situation that they're in.
No, you give me too much credit. I wasn't thinking of that, but it was implied. It was implied.
Great. They blast out of the room once you pick up the leash and then come out of the crate, and I'm going to guide them right back inside, give a little butt assist if I need to, and they're going back in that crate.
Wait, slow that down. Butt assist.
Yeah, I said that. What did I say?
Just keep going.
Okay.
You just talk really fast.
Yeah, I do. And then you assist the butt into the crate. And then once they're in there, close the door. Repeat the whole process that she already mentioned. Do it over and over again. This is how you're setting the tone to start the next 30 minutes to an hour that your dog is out of the crate. I'm also going to mention that you probably need to get on a crate schedule if you're not already on one, because that puppy should be sleeping about 16 to 20 hours a day, roughly.
Or at least resting.
Yeah, or I'm going to say should be sleeping.
Large breed dog, he's right, actually.
That's more opinion, and she can have hers.
It's not a border collie, it's a mountain dog. You're right, I agree.
That dog should be sleeping a lot.
I agree.
And then it's actually going to balance him out more when he comes out of the crate.
Yes.
He's going to be more better mannered. He'll be more receptive to listening. And when I bring my dog out on that leash and they start jumping right away, I've already got that leash to manage it. I walk down the hallway, they already start jumping on my back. I'm going to turn into them, step into them. You can't really see my arm. I guess I'll do it this way. Pressure up, and out, and I'm going to move into them. It's not enough pressure to pull them off. My foot stuck.
Off the ground.
My foot got stuck. It's enough to lift the head above the shoulder, and if they force their head down, then the paws might come off the ground a little bit, but they're doing that. Yeah. You just wait them out.
You're not lifting.
When their paws go back down because you haven't lifted high enough to remove the paws, and their butt kind of settles into a sit, their shoulders relax, you're going to slowly lower down your leash. If this puppy is as ornery as I think he is, he's going to jump on you again. And you're going to repeat everything I just mentioned.
Rinse, repeat.
And then release. And it might happen 3, 4, 5 times with the dog that pushy.
You might even get a little escalation before you get de-escalation.
Panic, frustration, because you're exerting a control your dog's never felt from you before.
Yeah.
But it's the moment that your dog kind of does you do the release and they go, and they let out this breath. I want you to capitalize on it because you got about 2 seconds to do it. You're going to reach in your pouch, handful of kibble or treats, whatever your dog's going to take. It should be kibble though. Come, place, sit, good, and do not give that kibble. Do not. Again, come, lure, place, sit, good. Maybe again, come, place, sit, good. And now my dog's eyes have gone from these dilated whale pupils overstimulated to now closing a little bit and watching you more closely. Thank you, focused. And that means my dog is no longer in the mindset of crazy, they're in the mindset of learning. And then I'll start rewarding and giving kibble for these commands. The whole purpose of why I don't give kibble right away is because then my dog thinks, jump on mom's butt, run the place, sit,
get food,
and then wait for food.
Yeah.
So it's going to become a game. You need to change the mindset, not just the behavior, before rewarding.
It's so important though. What he said to do is when you're being chewed on and jumped on. But our goal is to prevent that. And then I'm going to let y'all go. The work that he said, come, place. The reason you have your food pouch on is because you want to invite your dog out of crate and you're training right away. 3 steps, stop, sit, food. 3 steps, back up, come, food. Like you want to get your dog seeing you in a different way and training right away to prevent the jumping, prevent the biting. That way you start to change the way your puppy sees you as a chew toy. You don't want to just be on the defensive. It's important for Sparky to go over that because you need to know what to do when it happens, but you don't want to just be on defense all the time. You want to go on the offensive and always have food on you and try to get your puppy focused on the food and focused on training from the moment they come out of crate. All right, that is all we have for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Great questions today, guys.
Thanks for tuning into Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
We hope you found some advice that you can use to help make puppyhood a little easier.
Don't forget to join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram or TikTok at The Puppy Academy.
This is where you can get a chance to ask your burning questions in real time. And if you want even more puppy guidance, visit our website at thepuppyacademy.com for info on joining our online puppy school.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review.
These reviews let more people find us and supports us on our mission to help as many puppy parents as possible around the globe.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.